This is filming for WeFestive Day 9, which is going to be December 20th. So the exercises are going to be the same, whether you're doing the 45-minute class or the 60-minute class. The only thing that's going to be different is how many rounds of something. And for my particular grouping of days, the middle section, which is very similar to our Momentum Day B, where you have two sides, the timing will change a little bit as well. Okay, so for this one, for strength, it's going to be 30 seconds on, 20 seconds of rest, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds of rest. They're just doing 2 rounds. And then for the 60-minute length, you have a 40-second work period, a 20-second rest, 30-second work period, 15-second rest, 20-second work period, 10-second rest. So it's 3 rounds. So the one for the 45-minute might feel a little quick, a little fast, but they're still getting a lot of good work in. Okay. So for the first work set for day 9, December 20th, we're doing a log cabin EMOM to start. Even though it says EMOM, the timing is going to be on the 45 seconds because, again, we had to tweak it to make it 45 minutes. So the first exercise is going to be jumping lumberjacks. So it's just a jumping jack, right? So jumping jack. Be sure to give options for anybody who doesn't want the jumping piece as much to do a step out jack. I've also had a couple members in my class say that the toe touch jack, which we had in our Hollow WeFit class, also helps decrease the stress on the knees because they get a little bit of a break. So for that one, it's a jumping jack. They touch the toes, come tall, and they're going to get a little bit more of that hamstring stretch. So if you do give them a toe touch jack, right, jumping jack, come down. Make sure they're not rounding through the spine for that one. They're going to have 20 of those, and then we're going to go into our tree push-up. So I made it very log cabin theme, which is just going to be a tricep push-up. So we all know that keeping those elbows in tight can be a tricep push-up for this one because I want day 9 and day 10 to build on each other, and day 10 is an A-frame push-up. We're gonna actually do that triangle where the elbows are gonna go a little bit wider so that you're really driving into those triceps. If somebody has an issue with this, you can give them a general push-up or the elbows tucked along the side. So you're gonna make a triangle with your hands. You're gonna come flat on the ground. Feet are still hip width. You're dropping down as low as you can and then press up nice and strong. Okay, if they need to, they can come onto a box and do that triangle or diamond push-up up here. Or like I said, just have them really tuck those elbows in tight. This will also bias those triceps because they're tight in close to the body. Third exercise for this opening work set is going to be a lunge with T-spine rotation with the medicine ball hold. So with the medicine ball, I don't want them to hold underneath because there's a tendency to lean backwards when you're holding the weight like so. So they're going to wrap their arms around like a big bear hug and kind of pull that medicine ball in towards their rib cage. This is going to help facilitate a good brace. Just make sure they're not overdoing it and rounding. We still want a nice long spine. So you're going to lunge forward, rotate towards that front leg, step it back, alternating sides. If you have room and the number of members allows, you can turn this into a walking lunge, just making sure they're being very pure about that rotation. The fourth exercise for this work set is going to be a pine plank walk. We're going to move laterally so that we're really working on emphasizing that lateral stability. So they're going to find pointer fingers parallel, stacked under the shoulders, feet are hip width. We're going to keep everything nice and stacked. And then they're going to walk to the side for about 5 to 8, and then 5 to 8 back. Okay. If you want to get a little spicy with that and you want to have them do 5 to 8 and then hold for the remainder of the time, you can do so. Just make sure you're paying attention to your timer. For our second work set on day 9, December 20th, we're going to do a sugar and spice circuit. So this is going to be kind of similar to part of what we do on Momentum Day B. So for side A, first exercise is going to be a single arm jerk. Second exercise is going to be a holiday hollow hold. And third exercise is going to be a quadruped row. Sorry, I don't have a fun festive name for that one. So for your single arm jerk, I am also going to put together like a little mini demos only video for demoing these exercises in the time allotted. So hopefully that's helpful. But for a single arm jerk, I usually will demo it without the bell first. So standing tall, once you're in that rack position, it's a dip, drop under it as your arm extends, stand all the way up, catch, reset. So it's a dip, and then like you're falling through a trap door to get your body under the bell, stand all the way tall, catch to reset. So in real time, they're gonna grab that kettlebell. They will switch sides at the halfway point. So for the first round, you're working for 30, so they switch at 15. Second round, you're working for 20, so they switch at 10. Nice, strong, clean, in real time. For this one, we are not re-cleaning the bell between the jerks. That comes later. So it's as soon as they reset, dip, drop under it, stand tall, catch. Make sure they do catch and then stand before going back into their dip, because a lot of times I see people catch and then go right into that next jerk, which is not what we want to do. There has to be a stand to separate jerk 1 from jerk 2. There's a joke there somewhere. Your holiday hollow hold. When I'm instructing people to get into this, I have them lay flat on the ground. I want their low back pressed nice and firm on the floor. They are going to have a little bit of this upward lift in their shoulders and their head. They're going to then stick one leg out and then the other, and then extend both arms out overhead. If this is too challenging for them, they can tuck the arms in, or they can tuck one leg in, either up or on the ground, and switch at that halfway point, so that we're shortening the lever, but they're still getting the benefit of the hollow hold. If all of those options are too challenging, you can have them work on a hold here with both legs tucked, or you can have them do a variation of a dead bug. For the quadruped row, you're going to want to set them up on something like a box or a bench, where you're going to have both knees on the box and you're going to row off to the side. So I'm making sure that I'm nice and packed. I have my kettlebell or my dumbbell and I'm hitting that row, making sure to maintain a nice long spine, and then I'm staying square in the hips, right? We don't want them way forward. We don't want them tucked back. So a nice strong quadruped position, hitting that row off of the edge. For side B, we're going a little bit more plyometric heavy so that we can appease the momentum seeking members. So we're gonna have single leg pogos, depth drops, and a ladder drill. So for your single leg pogos, we're going one side, right? And you're just bouncing in place. So staying on the ball of the foot, halfway you're gonna switch. If somebody is having a hard time with single leg pogos, you can switch them to 2 feet, okay? Or if we're just trying to get them up on their toes and they still don't wanna jump, you can add that squat into triple extension, because you know they're gonna come up on the toes, lifting those heels. So this is gonna be a little bit more calf heavy as far as jumps go. For your depth drop, most people are gonna be able to do a depth drop on a box that's higher than what they would typically box jump, because you're going down. You're just controlling the load. You're not having to drive power up and over, okay? So you're gonna have them start on their box. They're gonna drop down into a squat. So if you taught last cycle where we had that drop squat, this is kind of a progression of that movement, okay? So starting on the box, dropping down. You can also have them act as if they're gonna step and drop down like so. If they don't feel comfortable with that, you can utilize that drop squat from the WeFit Reset. I think that's when we programmed it, where you're standing with feet under the hips, and then you're dropping out, step one in and then the other, drop out, step one and then the other. You can also have a loop and have them go in and out if they don't feel comfortable with that sort of jumping piece of the drop squat. Last movement for side B is going to be the ladder drill. So it's going to be the forward moving 2-step, because we have lateral drills on day 11. So for this, we're gonna be moving forward with a 1-2 step. I will come back into the frame here in a second, right? So it's 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 in each box. What I would like you to try to do is if they are leading with their left foot one direction, when they turn around, try to get them to lead with the opposite foot going back so that we're getting even repetitions with each leg in front. Our final work set, we have a rockin' around AMRAP where we're working on more dynamic variations of swings, and we're also helping them work into some of the TGU work that will come in the next 3 days. So we're starting with a side step swing. Next day, day 10, is a side stepping swing. I'll explain the difference here in a second. We're then gonna have a half kneel windmill, an overhead reverse lunge, and a box bear crawl. So for the side step swing, this is another one that I'll demo without the weight first so I can slow it down so they can see the timing, and then I'll demo it in real time. So you're gonna go 2 feet back, send those hips back, pack the shoulders, nice strong hike. As you stand tall, your foot moves in at the float and then back out before you hit that backswing. You then find your float, move that foot in, back out for the backswing. So in real time with the kettlebell, 2 feet back, send those hips back, pack the shoulders. I find my float, I step in. So my backswing is still happening and should look very much like a standard kettlebell swing. I'm just moving that leg in as I hit the float. If somebody is not comfortable with this, have them do a standard kettlebell swing. If they're not able to hit the right standards for a kettlebell swing safely, or they don't feel comfortable with it, transition them back down to a kettlebell deadlift, because they're still going to build strength in that grind in hopes that we can get them to a swing by the end of this cycle or into the next cycle, okay? For your half kneeling windmill, you're gonna half kneel in front of that kettlebell. The leg that's up is the arm that's overhead, because this is just like we would be in for our middle portion of our TGU. So the arm that is going to be holding the bell grabs the bell first, other hand comes in and helps. Cute little hike, cheek clean to the shoulder, bring that bell overhead. Big step open, you're gonna find front, inner thigh, right? So a lot of times you say front thigh, people go out and back. Now we're in a wrong position for not only the windmill, but also our TGU, because I'm not stacked and stable, okay? So front, inner thigh is gonna have people bringing that hand right out from the knee. Eyes are going to the bell as the hand comes to the ground. I'm then gonna load the hips back, come tall. Okay, I find the ground, I send the hips back, come to the ground, send the hips back, come tall. I'm gonna show you from the back side here so you can see that transition of the hip and why it's important to utilize that hip hinge in your windmill or in your TGU. So, fine here, right? I have my nice open stance. I'm gonna cheek clean the bell. I need to come this way for you to see me, right? Bell's overhead. So as I reach for the ground, I'm gonna send the hips back, which allows me to get closer to the ground. Once my hand is where it needs to be placed, I'm then loading my hand to find my half kneeling windmill position. To then come back tall, I'm loading the hips back. I feel the weight come off my hand. I squeeze my glutes to come all the way upright. I send the hips back as the hand finds the ground. I load, so I'm in that nice 90 degree position in my shoulder. Load the hips, squeeze the glutes to come tall. Control the bell down, back to the ground to switch sides or to move on to the next exercise. We then have our overhead reverse lunge. So nice, strong, clean, or snatch. So you can clean to the shoulder and press, or you can snatch. Sorry, my brain said clean, but my body did a snatch. So we're overhead. Take this hand, it tells you what leg to step back. You're stepping back with that leg, coming all the way tall. If somebody doesn't feel comfortable in a lunge, they can do a march and then bring that down, take it back under. Okay, so that's your overhead reverse lunge. For your bear box crawl, you're literally crawling in a box. So we're gonna go hands and knees. Hands and knees, toes are tucked. I'm gonna elevate my knees off the ground. I'm going 2 steps to the left, 2 steps back, 2 steps to the right, 2 steps forward. That's 1 box. And then I'm going to reverse my box. Okay, that's 2 boxes. We have an even number of bear box crawls that we want them to do, so make sure they're doing the same amount clockwise as they are counterclockwise.